queer wars that are currently going on in the queer community, I guess we'll call it. I don't know, but anyway.
I still can't get over how you can say that. Like, how did the term queer become normal again?
I don't know. It used to be an insult.
Yeah.
I guess it was taken back. Anyway, so this will begin with just the idea of, I guess we'll call it gay imperialism. Because this writer, Matt Cain, writing for The Independent, is furious that countries around the world aren't all as progressive on gay rights as we are. And to be honest with you, on that point, I agree, obviously. I don't think anyone should be persecuted for their sexuality. But he says there are still 69 countries around the world that legislate against same-sex relations. This feels like a justification for neoliberalism, doesn't it? There are 69 countries out there.
Nice.
They're not protecting their gays. We need to
saying nice
invade.
for 69, by the way.
Yeah, nice, yeah. But Jamaica, Tasmania, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, absolutely not safe for gay people to visit. But others like Morocco's and the Maldives and Mauritius prosecute local gay people but spare tourists. Some even have resorts and hotels that actively target queer customers. Yeah, I'm sure that's the sign they put up. Queers are welcome here. But should we go? It's a real moral dilemma for gay men and lesbians, and one that just makes me feel conflicted. Maybe you just don't have to bring it up. There isn't, some sort of genetic test or something they do on entry into the country. They're like, are you a queer? If you just turn up and just be normal.
Well, you're not allowed to hold your husband's hand or anything like that. That's a big no-no.
Well, don't they hold hands in Saudi Arabia?
I think I might be wrong, but I think the men do, but it's always heterosexual. But
if they insist,
for any public displays of affection of being gay, you can't do those, obviously.
Yeah, of course. But he says anyway. Part of me resents having such limited choice of holiday destinations, and the activist in me wants to provoke change. I also want to do my bit to make things better for gay and lesbian people living in countries where they don't enjoy the same rights or levels of acceptance I do. But what's the best way to go about this? One option is to boycott them. I'm sure they'll be deeply devastated. The gays are boycotting their holidays to Saudi Arabia. So Saudis are gutted.
They literally want to kill you.
Yeah. They literally say that the gay agenda is a foreign agenda to undermine the country.
Yeah.
So I don't think a boycott's going to work. But he says we know that boycotts can work. In 2019, Brunei announced it would be implementing Sharia law.
And what? Gays boycotted Brunei?
Yeah, but doesn't that imply that there's something about Sharia law that's inherently homophobic? Is there anything about Sharia law that's connected to Islam? Don't know if there is, but anyway. Sex between men, not to mention adultery committed by women, would be punishable by stoning to death. Following a mass celebrity-led boycott of the Sultan's assets, including the Dorchester Hotel in London, the Beverly Hills Hotel in Los Angeles, and the small Southeast Asian nation, Arab nation, but okay, backtracked and declared it wouldn't implement the death penalty. Yay!
I don't think they're Arab, actually. What? Brunei.
Right, are they not? Oh yeah, no, they're not. I don't know. No. I was mistaking it for Qatar and all those sort of tiny Arab states.
Although I'm wondering, can we start replacing the word homophobia with Islamic? What's going to happen? Well, that's very Islamic of you.
That's a good question.
I think that's subversive. That's like women are right about it. Islam is right about women.
Yeah.
Just replace the word homophobia in every sentence with the word Islamic. Just see what people do.
Yeah, so another option would be for gay and lesbian tourists to visit these countries and hope that the increased visibility helps change attitudes. Put a pin in that because we're going to come back to increased visibility and the changing of attitudes. And I'm sure it'll go down brilliantly in some of these ultra-conservative countries where these flaming queers come around and go, we're just increasing visibility. We're normalising being queer with a pride parade through...
They're not going to wear suits, are they?
They're not going to wear suits. But why should our holidays have to take the form of political activism? Well, can you do anything that's not political activism at this point? Why can't we just go away and relax on the beach like everyone else? You can, actually. You just don't have to do it in a jockstrap.
You don't have to do it in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. Another issue is the citizens of wealthy and predominantly white country, we wouldn't want to be guilty of cultural arrogance or superiority. And now we get to the contradiction. Gay rights, pretty much an invention of the white Western world. We're talking about the non-white, non-Western world, and we want them to not oppress gays. But that's imperialism. Oh dear. I guess we're just going to have to boycott. I mean, just saying. And of course, we're bad as well, right? You've got to remember that just last month, a court in Devon found that a 12-year-old schoolboy had taken his own life following years of homophobic bullying. So he'd been bullied, presumably people calling him gay, and he committed suicide. Tragic. Don't know if that's actually a sign of the country not accepting gays.
Well, I mean, every poll of people who do accept gays, we were pretty high.
Yeah.
I mean, almost number one on pretty much every poll.
Yeah. So going back to the gay representation, changing attitudes, that's certainly happening. In 2019, the New York Post found that there was a report that came out that actually people are starting to turn against LGBTQ. An alarming new statistic from the annual Accelerating Acceptance Report. So they're deliberately trying to make
accelerating acceptance.
LGBT is meant to be accepted, and it turned out that that's not working, and people are starting to hate it. But
here's the thing. I reckon if you did the same poll but asked them, should we tolerate homosexuality? Should we, criminalize it? Blah blah blah. That's not really changed. I bet that's constant. Just in the West, no, we're over that.
Yeah.
That's nonsense. But for accepting LGBTQIA plus blah 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 whatever else, that's going down.
Yes.
Because it's not gay tolerance, it's leftist.
I suspect so too. The survey was produced by the Harris Poll in partnership with the Gay and Lesbian Alliance Against Defamation, otherwise known as GLAAD.
The extremist organisation.
The extremist organisation that found that Americans between 18 and 34 who say they are comfortable interacting with queer people fell from 53% in 2017 to 45% in 2018, even among those whom consider the report considers allies to the LGBTQ community. This was the only age group to show a sharp decline in overall acceptance. Women had a sharper decline, falling from 64% to 52%, compared to a 5% decrease among men from 40 to 35%. Go over to the Arab states with the accelerating acceptance agenda and see how much... I mean, is it possible to have a negative acceptance? Like, do they have it?
This is the thing. You people do so much damage to the cause of accepting homosexuality and tolerating it. It's unbelievable. I mean, even in the tolerant West, you're able to make people hate you. Yeah.
I mean, imagine, like, only 35% of men are comfortable interacting with someone who describes themselves as queer.
Gay, probably 90%.
I can't imagine there's anyone who cares. But, like, if someone's going to be political about it, then it becomes an embarrassing... I'm not even going to go any further. Anyway, so the question then is, what is the future of the ally? And it seems that it's Sharia law. So this chap runs the largest bisexual social club in the world. I had no idea that such a thing existed, so good for them. Always nice to support entrepreneurs. And it's called AmBi. Through AmBi, I was allowed to network with the bi community. I met other bi activists. I became a bi organizer, and here I am helping to produce Queer Majority. We tend to think of allies as straight people who support LGBTI rights. So what does this have to do with the ongoing struggle for dominance between moderate and radical viewpoints that marks the current state of LGBTI activism? I don't know. I'm going to ask my local imam about it. See what his view is. So do we want the moderate or radical viewpoints on gay rights?
I mean, this is the difference between tolerance and let's just make everyone become transgender.
Remember, the moderate is in the centre. The radical is one side, but there is also a radical on the other side. So when you say that we want radical viewpoints, be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. That depends. Is our goal acceptance? Is it an escalating culture war? I like the fact that there's a leftist who'll admit they're engaged in a culture war. Is it normalization? If our goal is for LGBTI rights to be normalized, to just be accepted as another part of the human experience, which is where I would have thought it would have gone, shouldn't we start breaking down barriers instead of building more of them? Success should mean a further blurring of the lines between our communities until we no longer need allies at all, because we are all just equal people. I could buy that. I could get on board with that.
Yeah,
and that's how
the West
view.
has.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that debate is over. The entire West is on the side of, yes, we accept, tolerate, blah, blah, blah.
This was the liberal 90s consensus until radical communists came along and were like, actually, we can damage your society and try and bring about communism by polarizing it along identity lines. And that's where they find themselves. And they can't think outside of this schema. I worry that the LGBTI community triples down on trying to win some misguided culture war, will signal a hostile outsider status to those who aren't LGBTI themselves. No kidding. If we treat straightness as the enemy, many straight folks are bound to return the favour. It looks like they already are, to be honest. Looks like that horse is bolted. There's no point closing the stable door now.
It's also what a thing to think. Like, if we think of straights as the enemy, they might not like us. Yeah, I mean, what a surprise.
Why are you thinking of straights as the enemy? Like, do you think there's a straight, like, demographic, like, voting block, Like, we vote for straight interests.
How could you imagine that? Like, I'm a straight. Like,
well, yeah. Straight
there's
pride
like
worldwide,
a straight party or something.
But the last thing,
objectives keep him in the closet.
He's worried that they're going to radicalise the moderates against pride. It's like, that does seem to be happening. That doesn't mean we should go back to hiding in the shadows. On the contrary, let your pride show. But why though? Why do you need parades about this? Like, it just seems to be indulgent to me. Like, I mean, the idea of a straight pride parade is a meme. It's a joke. It's obviously...
Well, it might be necessary if they see us as enemies, though.
Well, I mean, I guess so, but like, I really don't want to have that to be the case.
We're here. We're straight. We just want tolerance.
Yeah, just please leave us alone. Stop going after our kids. All I'm saying is if our engagement with the straight world is defined by anger, accusation, extremism, and perpetually strident discourse, then we aren't really giving them a reason to want to sit at the table with us. Yeah, you're giving them a reason to ostracize you, in fact. If we want allies, then we need to stop making them feel like enemies. But the thing is, right, you only need allies when you're fighting a war. And so if you're looking for allies and you want them to work with you and not feel like enemies, what war are you fighting? Why can't you stop fighting? Can't you just be? Can't you just exist? Because, I mean, you've got all the legal protections you'll need.
What does the peace deal look like?
Well, yeah, exactly. How can we sign a treaty with the radical gay community that's currently fighting a war? What are your demands?
I mean, for the liberal side of this, just toleration. Yeah. That's what everyone wants.
Well, you've got that. You've got all...
that's already achieved,
Western
so we can stop fighting.
Yeah, exactly. In all Western governments, in all Western countries, you have equal rights now. Right up until the point of marriage. So it's like, okay, what do you need? If we want to overcome the us-them dynamic and the othering, it's important that we ourselves don't feed it. Yeah, but you created the dichotomy here. We didn't create the LGBTI group, right?
Straights did this to us.
Yeah. Well, we need to make the straights feel as welcome among us as we want to be among them. And how can that be done if you can claim that straight people are the perennial oppressors of gay people? When people ask, what about straight pride? We do not have to take that as an attack. There's no need to explain that straight white people don't face discrimination and therefore don't need pride. It just comes off as needlessly antagonistic.
Well, actually, you say that. I mean, we do have an example of that in the UK in which a straight person did face persecution.
Yeah.
The police officer who sued, he was a straight white male, and that's why he didn't get the job.
Yeah. And the thing is that you also don't have an answer for the question of, well, what if they just want it? What if they just want one? Just feel like having one? No, I'm not saying it's about oppression.
Pride's a sin, so...
Exactly, we're just proud of being straight. Can't we just have a straight pride parade? Why not? What prevents it? The answer, of course, is nothing. That's why they have to get antagonistic about it. Instead, we should try something more along the lines of, absolutely, of course straight people can be proud. I like where this is going. This is funny. Sexual and romantic liberty benefit everyone, not just LGBTI people. Everyone should enjoy the freedom to love. Yeah, okay, this is going a bit too far now. Same Vorsh moment, that's all. Yeah. You're more than welcome to celebrate that freedom and openness with us. So straight pride is a go. That's good. We've got the endorsement of straight pride here. We are so close to the acceptance and normalization we've long sought. If we are going to keep up this positive momentum, then it's time to harness the power of FOMO for our cause and get the straights to join the damn party. Well, good luck. Because, I mean, it's not like the pride parades are going very well, right? This is Seattle Pride. Have decided to charge white allies and accomplices a reparations fee to join it.
Accomplices?
Yes.
As in criminal accomplices?
As in they're committing a crime in some way, and they feel that they can accurately describe them as accomplices. Again, like the allies thing, I'm not very comfortable with because it implies that I'm enrolling in a war, and I don't really want to enroll in a war, and I certainly don't want to be the accomplice to anything. Like, especially when all of the legal protections you need are there.
So how much is the fee to become an ally?
Oh, between $10 and $50.
That's what it takes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's not even... I mean, who determines this?
Do I get an F word passed off of that?
I don't believe you do. According to the Seattle Pride, white punters, allies, and accomplices attending the event will be expected to pay $10 to $50 reparations fee depending on one's ability to pay.
Reparations for what?
Reparations for oppressing gays, Callum.
But usually that's for slavery.
Well, that's the thing. It's only for white people, so it has to be a racial thing, right? So this is you see, the pride flag with the trans arrow and the black arrow. This is what the ethnic component to the new pride flag is going to do. It's going to racialize what was otherwise not a racial concern. And so white people now going to Pride, a gay event, an event for gays, will be forced to pay reparations. Of course, this goes to a non-profit organisation, which I always love the use of non-profit. They all get paid working at a non-profit, so is it? And the only difference really between a non-profit and a regular company is they can't pay themselves dividends. It's like, okay, but they can pay themselves ridiculous salaries.
They
don't need
easy.
Yeah, exactly. They don't need dividends, But anyway, what they say they're striving to create honor, unity, and create unity, honor, diversity, and achieve equal human rights, and that means white people got to pay.
For equal rights, whites have to pay more.
This will enable persons of black, brown, trans, or queer backgrounds to attend the event for free. So again, like the flag is perfect. The gay colours, the rainbow is being invaded upon by the trans and the black and brown people, and the white gays have got to pay for the black and brown gays to attend.
I love it though, because it's got nothing to do with gays here. I mean, you've got the LGBT flag, right? And then you've got the QIA2S plus, which is the phalanx that's advancing into the row of.
It's actually called the boar's snout, the historical formation where you have the men lined up in a point to push through the enemy lines. It's called the boar's snout.
They're invading.
They are. They're very. It looks like an hostile takeover as part of an active culture war in which there are allies and accomplices. Very militarized, which is not something I would want if I was just like, I want to celebrate being myself. But yeah, there we go. It's all go in the LGBTQ community. The war is hot, and it's very active, and it's also across racial lines. If you enjoyed this segment from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, you can watch the full broadcast live every weekday at 1 p.m. UK time on lotuseaters.com.